war in Tigray, in the suffering of all Ethiopians. Attacking our people in Tigray is in response to that. And that is a revenge from our enemies, for we tell the truth. People are dying on the ground in combating a war in Tigray. And our enemies are getting busy to hijack and exploit our medias that belongs to serve the Tigrayan people as part of the war we are engaging in. The enemies desperate to secure the ground. So this is an attack from the enemy. They even use your own people. So pay attention. Blind loyalty is so dangerous. I don't give blind loyalty. I don't like politics. I don't like the party EPRDF, nor its members. But I was Pomelis. He was a dynamic man of charisma, with sharpness of mind, a man who delivered with excellence, a great and true leader. I have a great deal of respect for Mele. I used to say the rest of TPLF leaders like Ambassador CEO Mesfin and many others, they are lambs. Someone who just followed, just a figure who contributed insignificantly. Through the test of time, however, they proved my perception wrong. What is the vocabulary I used? Proved. Yes, for the last 31 months, they proved me that I am wrong. When they are given an opportunity that's full of challenge, in the way they handle things proved me wrong, that they are not just a lamb or just a figure to fill a space. They experience their present itself through a time of test, showed me what they are truly made of, that they are tough, wise, smart, matured, humble, diplomatic, experienced, and good leaders. Respect is not given, respect is earned. And they earned my utmost respect with their action. For me to say confidently, they are the best and the greatest leaders, because they are. So I don't give blind loyalty just like that. TPLF earned it. They earned my trust and they earned my respect. TMH is not bad, but not effective. I'm not questioning its credentiality even. You have a long way to go. Again, speaking of blind loyalty, if people are following a person or a media because they speak your language or the perception he or she is my people kind of mentality, the devil can exploit you by using those people against you. Remember, we are in a colonialism war that has at least a guaranteed time span until January 2021. In order to expedite things, those are the patterns our enemies are using. Number one, looking for the right person who has the potential to betray you and willing to work for the enemy against you. Number two, the dirty money to control the betrayers and use them to your own heart and defeat. Those are the dangerous people to keep an eye on. Number three, the battlefield to control your mind and to enslave your future is happening by using the media. So don't trust all information that's coming through the media, even if that's your media you call it. You have to listen people's message with a grain of salt sometimes. Not to all people, but you could tell. Use common sense. In this case, by using your own TMH media somehow, and several group social medias that your community is participating, they try to exploit you unless you pay attention, unless you stop the situation by altering what's wrong, where is the gap. You people, blacks, been equipped, been effective. So work on that. Give them training. Otherwise, change them. Replace them. If the media is not effective and the war is going on through the media, how can you expect to win the war? If people are not trustworthy and there is a lack of trust or credentiality, how can you win the war? First thing first, do your own homework. So this is a really sensitive area to pay attention to, otherwise the enemy is using your own weakness. Knowing your enemy, knowing yourself is a homework. First, to achieve. You have to know your weakness. If there is a weakness, how can you correct that weakness to become a strength? I'm a person who bluntly say it as it is. The image is not effective. If you are teachable and can learn from the people of Amhara, you wouldn't be deceived to take a suicidal journey that the enemy is plotting subtly, that's invisible to see. Then after the damage happens, that's a danger zone that you will take others along with you and be defeated. Of course, leaders from Tigray, in spite of the challenging situation, they communicate to secure your ground, your media. And people of Tigray are wise, but not all people have the same understanding. People can be deceived and the enemy can have achieved its goal. Changing the problem, the root cause, is the only thing that will change. And instead of investing in a lot of Tigrayan people to create awareness, you should correct where the problem is. Because the problem will be consistent unless you remove the problem, unless you correct it, unless you build the capacity, unless you have that professionalism, unless you have a plan when to say, what programs are. The image is guided by others' media's program. But the image is echoing what others are saying. That's the greatest unutilized resource that miss its target. Because of that, as a result of that, it cannot be effective. Otherwise, Tigray's war shouldn't be occurred. The media should have diffused, combating, attacking, using in a positive way, bringing people together. So the strategy by itself, it lacks. Why the media exists? If it misses its objective, it would be useless. So pay attention. You are not using your resources to your own benefit, rather the enemy is exploiting you against you. You are achieving, you're going forward 10 steps forward and bringing you 7 steps backward. That's a big loss. Because you don't see where your weaknesses and correct it. And when that's becoming for long, and it will cost more. Pay attention, this is serious. And other medias, other people, demographies are defeated this way. Those people, they don't have any rocket science. It's something that has been implemented before. They are bringing it way before some years back, if we look to history, or even within the last 3 years in Ethiopia. If you ignore them, if you don't give them power, if you don't surrender to their message, it will be diffused. It will have no power on you. You don't have to be even afraid. When they were saying the Tigrayan leaders are, we control them, or some people speculate because of that distorted message, people might be done. That is a time that I don't even watch the media, maybe 6 days. Because I know without knowing even the leaders, I have no any attachment. But I can understand and sense where things can be. When you do your homework, you elevate yourself to that understanding, and you go and do your own next homework. I'm not fighting in the enemy's condition. I fight the battle in my own terms. I don't have to waste my energy and time listening and be deceived and be disempowering. So I laugh at them and move on forward. And what is going on? Time is sensitive, and time is a crunch. We don't use our time to do our own homework. We rather expose ourselves to the deceptive message, and we are sad and gloomy, regardless of there is no communication. If you know and if you have the confidence on your leaders, the capacity they have, you could tell the pattern what's going to be the next one. But you don't just sit down, you just do your own part. So that's how a war can be won. Operating as a team, doing our own part effectively. Otherwise, those who are really exposing in a vulnerable situation, no matter how they really strive in this difficult situation, we can make their sacrificial work in vain unless we be careful not to be maneuvered by the enemy. This is a very dangerous time. The war is not only going in Tigray, in the ground, which is the main dangerous place, but the war is more, people are more defeated virtually by not paying attention, by not learning from the mistake of others. So please correct how the media is performing. Be selective your message, what you are transmitting. Is it really helping the demographic that the media is existing to serve? Or are you surrendering yourself and allowing and just watching when others are using it against you? So they can use and abuse, victimize the Amhara people big time by their own people and through their own media, created intentionally to defeat them beyond comprehension. Learn from other people's mistake. The other point is the enemies are testing the water to prove us wrong. That we said the Tigrayan people are noble character. The Tigrayan people didn't engage in hatred or vengeance. And the Tigrayan people are not in the mob movement or to the conformity. Regardless of other people's provocativeness. Are you a person who wants to go to the hatred? Do you want to be conformed to the prescribed other people want you to be? Or are you going to stay to remain noble and to be yourself and to steadfast and steady? Are you not a great nation who has what it takes to be above a challenging situation? Are you not a resilient people who bounce back by maintaining your kindness, nobility, and humility? Are you not the wise children of Queen Sheba? Don't lose who you are, your royalty, your quality of your thinking process, and what you feed your mind. Royalty, not in a puffed upness, but knowing your standard and knowing who you are. The evil is out on the look to destroy the Tigray people, to steal what you have. Hold on. Your patience and tolerance annoyed the devil, because if you don't give in to the devil's agenda for you to act and react, you win. You will prove the devil is wrong, because it will fail his mission and unable to tackle you to the dark, to the slavery, to the colonialism. Don't fight with their terms and conditions. Fight with your own terms and conditions for your own benefit. Don't help the enemy. That is your winning ticket. Remember that. To promote hatred, to break relationships and create division, to disconnect from your spiritual nourishment by the whisper advocating stop from going to church. They are using your own people to get you. What you see in the front is not for your own goodness. These people are thinking. Behind the scene, the motive is what you need to dissect. Because spoken word is out to manipulate your emotions, so that when you are conflicting with the other people, as they planned you to go that way, whatever TPLF and Tigray people are winning will be futile. And you'll be busy in fighting others. That way the enemy will be weak. And you won't have a future than slavery. So the spoken word that comes to people using the media is the danger than the battle in Tigray. And I mean it, because that's how the enemy is using to defeat you, to defeat our people. The enemy is even trying to disconnect you from God, your power source. Dunamis. It's deliberate. All the negative message that you heard at the image is the voice and agenda of our enemies. Though they transmitted it via a person whom you praise and applaud, with a sense that you identify with the person. Some people comment sometimes our hero. If somebody thinks a person a hero, they respect that person, they respect the person's word, so they will listen. And just like that, you will be deceived. Just like that, you will fall and be defeated. That is a gambling game to deceive you. They use your own people because you wouldn't question them. You will trust them. Because you don't expect a harm from a person you think is in the same page with you. But as we are experiencing it for the last 3 years. Everything is done through betrayal and deception. So there's nothing new under the sun. What is important you needed to be focused on, however, is to be alert and know this is not the season to be just like a dove. The time we are in is in a highly demand of to be wise like a serpent, as well as to continue to be harmless like a dove. Make sure you protect your mind and the mind of others, not to be harmed through deception. Don't buy the people's destructive message that has full of ill motives that serves the enemy. Be wise, stay focused, and stay alert. Use common sense. So you should be smart to ask, who is whispering in my ears? Is it the devil or is it God? Any message that comes from God is peaceful and good. You could tell the difference. And don't give in a chance to the dark, to the hatred, to the divisions. The worst has gone, but this is the most critical and dangerous situation in time. It will be short, but the damage can be huge unless we pay attention and see beyond what's in front of us. Be careful. Pay attention. People may have an ill motives, because whoever is preaching and advocating division and hatred is wrong in the first place. That will take you to the wrong path. That will expedite your own fall at your own expense. Reject such message by all means. Number 3, going back to my point, the TMH data administration honestly should evaluate the effectiveness of this person or the people at the image in general. I'm not judging. If there's a structural problem, fix it. If there is a capacity problem, fix it. By seeing the end result, and that way to have the upper hand to prevent from a possible disaster. Taking people's word with a grain of salt until we overcome together is very needed these days, in this difficult time. Otherwise, you can lose your audience. You can lose your viewers' trust. And if people are not coming along with you, it's hard to bring them back. And also, it's hard all the battles to win. The battle is not only the military aspect, there's a psychological aspect after the war, post the war. There is a financial aspect. And if you don't keep those people on your side, that will ultimately and eventually will defeat you. That's what the enemy is doing. Correct the mistakes. So losing your audience is also another disadvantage you might encounter. Don't be negligent. Don't procrastinate from taking action, because it has its own consequence. If your message loses its relevance, why one can land in your platform, serving individuals versus serving community, you have to ask. Could tell where your quality is right now. You should be the driving force, TMH. When I say you, TMH should be the driving force, the backbone to back up your leaders and people in Tigray who are in combating war, in children's mothers and the young and elders who are in danger, families who are concerned. Those are the burning issues, far better than what you are doing right now or what you are talking, because you have the tool. I'm addressing directly to TMH. Using the media as a tool is effectively is a good a strategy, other than that will endanger the lives of Tigrayan people. So please take the initiative to be responsible and to discern if the message you are broadcasting goes in line with your mission and benefit your targeted market segment. And the people also to be aware and to reject any message otherwise. Be wise, be responsible, be effective. We are a team. Whatever we do affects others. And this time it affects and can endanger people's lives. Never ever forget that. Don't confuse people. Don't threaten people to lose their trust on you or on others or among themselves. Because it will be, if the person is not communicating a message that has substance for that benefits the Tigrayan people, people can question. People can lose a trust. Not only in the person, it can lose a trust, it can affect others, people's trust, the trust others. Because if a trust is betrayed, it's hard to gain. And it doesn't stop there, the damage. It's not only seeing lack of trust toward that person, but it will affect on the trust department. And that's also the enemy's way of creating a division. Pay attention, correct it, immediate this problem. It has been lingering. The reason why we are mentioning what's happening, what happened in 2020 after the Tigray election, and now is for people to see the picture, to see it for yourself. They are using your own media as a power balancer. That those people have a contact with those people, and are they working for them? While they appear as if they are with you. You have to see this, question, and make sure. If they are working for others, shouldn't be given a chance. Otherwise, don't ask people to collect money unless it's serving the community. I know the negative word I am using can affect, but this time let it affect so that you can correct it. That's how things should be changed. So the message is confusing, the message is creating division, the message is affecting the trust. People to trust each other or to trust others. So let us affect in a positive way by being effective and be part of a solution to the problem than the other way around, please. For the TMH, thank you for your service. We cheer you up for your good works, and we give you positive critique so that we will see a much better TMH media platform that connects with its audience and display its brand image in a positive way that influence and make a difference. This was the message that I prepared to address 2 weeks ago as part of the video before this. Now, this message is part of that. However, saying things in the media, though I have a valued or legitimate concern, I foresee the negative impact that could have on TMH once my word is out. TMH being the main source of information for the demography of the Tigray people, and also a reliable information platform for heads up for the Eritrean people, besides all the means of communication, be it telephone or media at the other end in Tigray being cut off intentionally, and with the reality wherein the people in Tigray and TPLF leaders are in combating war, facing not only a life-threatening situation, but the fact killing innocent civilians in Tigray has become routine. we need to assess the pros and cons on what we say and refrain from saying about the sabotage at TMH that targets to defeat the unbeatable people of Tigray. So I intentionally chose not to include the message on the last video. That's why I cut out part of the message on the previous video, not to harm the people of Tigray by exploiting the weak side of TMH, not to create a division and for this message not to be used by the enemy to exploit your weakness. So we are people who choose when to say what. So, but this is what we have seen as weakness. That way I decided to give the benefit of the doubt to GMH and giving a chance for people, because we are a people who believes in giving a chance to fail for other people, for those to fail when they fail, to give them a room and accommodate them, a room to correct their mistakes or to change. By correcting their mistakes, doing the right thing. Well, we know how to punch and when to punch. And I have no discriminations whom to punch, as long as it's threatening people's life. It's gonna affect whatever is being done and can affect. So even though TMH is a Tigrayan media, it cannot be spared from our critic. And we do so because we care. It's not because we are against. We care for our people. If anybody is not doing the right thing, we say it as it is. The concern I had 2 weeks ago and the potential consequences if I challenge or criticize the image is reversed now. Now, the more catastrophic damage would be if I don't speak up the issue and ignore it that has been existing. Since the Ethiopian illegitimate caretaker blocked all the communication from TPLF leaders and calculatively and strategically approached the image to exploit both the people of Tigrayans and Eritreans, because he is continuously being defeated in the northern Ethiopian battle in the land of Tigray.